So what I want to do is add a receptacle on this outside wall somewhere in here. This is a vinyl exterior wall, and I need to figure out where I'm going to feed the power from. So on the inside of the wall I have a receptacle here that I can pull power from to feed the new receptacle on the outside wall. So after having removed the cover and turned off power to the inside receptacle where I'm going to feed from, I need to know which side of the receptacle the stud is on so that I don't accidentally put my box outside on the wrong side of the stud. So new work is usually put in with a 2x4 on one side, and you see here I cannot get the screwdriver in here, but over here I can take the screwdriver, press it gently past the edge of the box, and it goes in quite a ways. So the stud in this case is on this side of the box. Therefore, outside I want to be on this side of my box. So these are some of the materials I'll be using. I have the trim piece for the vinyl to make it look better and give me a nice flat surface to mount my receptacle to. Of course, the box. Now you use a couple of different kinds of box. This one has an ear on it. I can screw right into the external OSB for plywood that I have. If you don't have that, you may want to use a box with ears or cut-in box, old work box, whatever you want to call it. I have my receptacle back here and a plate and of course the wire. These are the tools I'll be using, this to cut the hole, and of course the hand tools. Now in my instance I'm using a standard receptacle because, as you see, my outside wall is actually a covered porch, so it's not required to have a GFCI. However, check in your community if this is allowable or not. In this case, my case, it is. Now, as I showed earlier, I determined that my receptacle is going to have to go on this side. The receptacle inside is about over here. So I will cut in my hole here. And what I'll do is I'll use the trim piece that I have for the vinyl as a template. You see the interior edge? I will cut around this interior edge after marking it on the wall so I know exactly where to put my box. So I've taken my measurements from inside and know that I would like to have my box about 13 inches, the edge of the box, from this inside of the window here. That will give me a couple of inches between my new box and the old box. So right here is where I'm going to put my template and make my marks. Now with my zip tool I cut the vinyl so that I can get access to the back substrate wall, the OSB board. But you'll see I'm going to have a smaller box than what the trim piece actually is cut out of the vinyl. So what I want to do is place this behind here and get my mark for about where I want my box so that I can mark that hole. In order to do that, they make a handy little tool called a zip tool, where you can slide it right back behind here and get the vinyl to break loose and peel away. And by shoving that in behind there, you can take this piece and twist it and pull it, and it unzips the whole thing. So that now I can shove this up, set it back down in there where I want it to be, get my mark, cut the hole through the plywood with my jigsaw. So let's see how it all fits together here. As you see, I've already cut the hole with my skill saw, or jigsaw rather. And let's see if my box should fit right back in here like this. Okay, that looks good. I'll put a couple screws in there to hold that. And this, after using my zip tool, is pretty easy to peel apart. Just kind of drive this around in up underneath there like that. And see how it's going to fit, and it'll be perfect. So now all we have to do is get the wire from here, loop it under, and go into the box on the other side, and feed the receptacle, and finish wiring it up.
Now, inside the receptacle, I've removed it from the wall box. You see I've got the power off, and the easiest way to do that really is to plug in a lamp or something that makes noise, such as a radio or a small appliance that you can hear, and then have someone stand there until you find the right breaker. Sometimes they're labeled correctly, sometimes not, and then kill the power to it. Now, in this box, coming out of the bottom of this box, back in the back here, right where the screwdriver is a spot for the Romex to come into it from. And I will now open that up so I can get my Romex in there from the other side.
I ran into a little bit of problem trying to get the Romex down up under and through into the box. It's a little bit tight, hard to bend the Romex. So I've used a spare piece of wire. This is a piece of ground wire out of an old piece of Romex. And I've made like a little fish tape out of it. So when you do that, you bend a loop. You strip back all of the center piece is what I've done. And you bend a loop in it. Bend a loop in the other end. Hook them together and bend it nice and flat as best you can. And the tape helps to taper the end of the wire so that it won't get caught on as much. It's going to get caught on something. And then make sure you tape the end of that hook up as well. Otherwise, that hook will drag through every piece of insulation that you have on the wall and create more drag. But this way, it'll be quite simple. Now, once I've done that, it's a simple matter of pushing some of the slack down into the wall so that I can pull it through from the other side. Now it should just be a simple matter of pulling the Romex up through the hole there and getting the end out here to where we can work on it. Now you see I've already taken the liberty of removing the receptacle, loosening the ground wire nut so that I can get my new ground wire up underneath this bundle. I've cut and stripped back the existing wires that were on that receptacle. Now I need to strip this back. Simplest thing to do is I usually use this distance from here to here. It's about 6 inches. And I just take a razor knife very carefully, run down through here, watch out for the meat below the wire. Don't cut that. And right to the end, like that. Now then, cut off the old excess insulation. And then you simply strip these wires back. Now there's a couple ways of doing this. You can use wire strippers, or you can use a pair of lineman's pliers like I'm doing. And then when you get these stripped back, you can shove this back down through there. Put the white to the white, the black to the black, and the ground around the existing ground wire so that you have a continuous set of wires. From these white wires and black wires here, I'll have a fourth wire coming out, a pigtail, to go to my existing receptacle. Like I say, this is really nothing all that special. You want to get your ends even. One of these pairs of lineman pliers are real handy, but they're not cheap and they're not necessary. You can do it with just a regular pair of pliers. Now I've twisted all three of these wires together. I have my fourth wire that's going to go to the receptacle here. I simply lay it in the twist like that and give it one more twist, just like that. And then I'll put my wire in it. Make sure it's good and tight. The twist helps give you mechanical strength as well as a really good connection. You don't have to worry about it breaking if you ever have to pull it out of the wall. So it's highly recommended. Some people claim that the twisting of the wire nut itself should be enough if you get your joints just right, but that's the thing. We're all imperfect. We make mistakes. So it's better to err on the side of caution to me. I've always been taught this over the last, I forget how many decades, and this makes for a very good joint. Don't ever have to worry about one popping out that I've put in. Now then, that's good and solid, and we'll push these back into the existing box, leaving us our pigtails hanging out. These things are quite resilient as long as you don't break off the insulation. And then we'll just simply cut these off, strip back a little extra, give me a good generous loop here, and a quick twist. Another quick twist. And take the old receptacle, put it on here. The white always goes on the same side as your ground, and this ground has a green screw to it. Simply hook it under the screw, tighten it down, twist it over, put your black wire on the screw, tighten it down, make sure that one's tight that it didn't slip on me. Yeah, that's better. Simply I bend it down, bend it up, make your wires kind of like an S shape, keep that ground away from the hot, push it back in the box, and you just simply screw it in, and this will be done once we put the cover plate on. On this side, as you can see, I've already got the wire stripped back, and all I have to do is fish it up through one of the holes. This was a previously used box, nothing wrong with recycling. Put this in here. Simply slide the box back into place, push my wire back down just a little bit, just for looks, and then a couple of screws to hold it in place, and I'll be happy with this. Okay. Then we'll take our handy dandy little trim piece, slide it back here and around. Okay, there we go there, and I wouldn't mind putting a screw in right here, and maybe another one down here, just for fun. Well, it's not going to be fun, but just because. Not a problem. Let me pop our trim on. Go. And then again, take our handy dandy little pliers here, strip some back, strip this back, bend you a nice little hook in it, and I'll take a little bit off the top on this one, make this hook a little bit longer, just for fun. Because that's just the way I do it. So I put my ground screw on. And the white wire. Black wire. repair. And as I said before, you bunch the wires together. I bend a sort of an S shape in mind to get it back neatly folded into place. And a simple matter of putting my screws in. Carefully stripping them out. Just like that. A quick little cover with the plate. And we're done. And it's just simply a matter of making sure my trim's popped on there good, it looks halfway decent, plugging my lamp in, turn the power back on, I'm good to go. So as you can see, it actually does work. Now this job took me about, well, hour and a half, 2 hours. I've done a few of these before my time, in case you couldn't tell. Hopefully you could. But it's not that hard of a job to do. This is not meant to be a all-inclusive how-to manual, brochure, video. It's simply meant to show you how someone may do this, so that you'll know whether they know what they're doing or not. Hour and a half, 2 hours, you're done. So take it into consideration. If you appreciate this, then give me some feedback. Sometime I've thought about putting a video on that explains how a GFCI works, because if this were truly an outdoor receptacle here, it would need to be a ground fault circuit interrupter because of wet ground and the potential for personnel injury. So I can explain that in another video. If you'd like to see that, let me know and I'll put one of those together as well. So I'll sign off for now and say good night.